when you're advising someone that launches a token, like everyone is like, this industry is useless. Well, you know why it's useless? Because the token, right? Tokens are the best and the worst things to ever happen to this space, right? Like tokens bring everyone here. The only reason that we're here is because of tokens, right? But a token is arguably the least healthy thing a company can possibly roll out, right? Like imagine you're trying to start a company and you're trying to find product market fit. And instead, what people are asking for is a white paper where you pretend like you have any idea what's going to happen for 3 years, even though you're a startup, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? And then instead of worrying about how are we going to bring in customers, how are we going to build this product to make sense, now you have a token out there, right, that represents literally like theoretical, like a liquidatable perception of your company's worth. You can't share profits with that. You can barely talk about it. It doesn't actually represent ownership. It represents some kind of governance rights that are completely useless, and you make up a utility for it to have, even though it has absolutely none because you're forced to, right? Like that token would mean something if you could share profits with it, if you could do certain things. But as long as companies have to do that, it's really hard to make an argument that anything else is going to happen. Then you have a bunch of young people running a company that are making emotional choices, which happens when you run a company, who can liquidate assets immediately. You have a bunch of investors who are investing in a young company, which is up and down. The company I started did not go straight up, man. It was up, down, up, down, up, down. And if I could have liquidated it with a token, dude, 2014, I'd be like, fuck the CEO. I'm selling $400,000 of this. 2017, I'm like, fuck the CEO. I'm selling $500,000 of this. Like, you would just do that because it's not healthy, but you're locked into that stuff. An investor who only wants to invest in the shiny new thing would constantly sell out of your token if they could, but they're locked in. There's nothing that they can actually do, right? Now, that is the beauty of the space, but that is the danger of the space. So my point being is that if you can actually get legitimate regulations into this space, if you can actually start to figure out ways to have securities trade next to tokens, if you can have a path where people can either decide, I want to have a token or I don't want to have a token, if you can have rules around how long you have to be around as a company before you roll out a token, if you can have rules around the disclosures you have to make in terms of money you make, customers you have, etc., before you roll out an actual token, you will actually probably create a somewhat healthy space that over time becomes boring, and I'll probably get sick of it, but like actually becomes somewhat successful. Like it does. I'll tell you right now, there are exchanges out there, new exchanges that are minting money, dexes that are minting money. Like they have like a $6 million burn rate and they're going to make like $120 million run rate this year. And if that was an AI company, that company would be valued at $30 billion. It doesn't take a lot for this industry to go from that's a total joke to they make how much. Right now, it's only exchanges, right? Exchanges are, because that's all that matters in this industry so far. And newsflash, that's probably all that will ever matter in this industry because it's the freaking financial like railroad. It's just, anyways, I could go into this forever, but it's like everyone wants this industry to be so much more than it is. They want it to be video games and all this stuff. That shit's never gonna work. Maybe crypto works as a feature in like some of that stuff, but what this industry is financial rails. There's a reason all the marketing is stupid. It's a bunch of words no one knows, and you read it and you're like, what? It's because like you would never walk into Starbucks and like pay with your iPhone and turn around to the dude behind you and be like, you see that shit? Like 1,800 transactions a second. Like your fucking Android can only produce 1,679 a second. Like, and your money won't settle with Starbucks for another like a minute and a half. Like we're basically pitching B2B sales tactics on B2C customers, and it has to stop at some point.